The first rays of dawn crept through the lighthouse windows, brushing the stone walls with a soft, golden light. Mara's lantern rested at her side, its flame diminished but still warm, casting long shadows across the chamber. The spirals on the walls glowed faintly, pulsing with a rhythm she had come to recognize. Each breath she took seemed to synchronize with the room, the chamber itself exhaling and inhaling in harmony with her heartbeat. A low hum vibrated through the floor, subtle yet insistent, and she realized the hidden room was no longer simply a place of memory. It was alive, aware, and waiting for her full understanding. Her hands moved over the artifacts once again, tracing the edges of journals, brushes, and glass vials. The glow of the lantern caught on etched symbols, revealing patterns she had not noticed before. Spirals within spirals, fractals of memory and intention. The feather hovered, suspended as if by its own will, drifting lazily above a shallow puddle. Mara's fingertips tingled where they hovered near the intricate carvings. She could feel the energy pulsing, subtle yet unmistakable, as though the room was teaching her not with words, but through touch, through sensation, through the unspoken rhythm of the stones and air. A breeze swept through the chamber, carrying the scent of rain and distant lightning, mingled with the salt of the sea. Mara shivered but did not retreat. The whisper she had heard before returned, soft and melodic, threading through the air around her. "You are the light, you are the keeper." The words were not loud, yet they resonated in every corner of her mind, aligning her thoughts, her purpose, and her heartbeat with the hidden room. She felt herself expand into the space, no longer merely present, but part of its living memory, part of the spirals, the shadows, the glow. On the pedestal, the lighthouse model rotated slowly, each shadow it cast moving like a reflection of her own inner pulse. Mara leaned closer, studying the tiny carvings and symbols, noting their subtle differences from the sketches she had seen in the journals. She ran her fingers lightly over the base, feeling the texture, the vibrations of history encoded in the stone and wood. A warmth spread from the pedestal into her palms, up her arms, and into her chest, filling her with a calm, unshakable understanding. This room was more than a repository of memory. It was a teacher, a guide, and now a partner in her awakening. She stepped back, lantern held aloft, observing the interplay of light and shadow. The walls seemed to pulse, responding to her movements, the spirals flickering with quiet life. Each artifact, each symbol, each feather drifting in the air felt aware of her presence, acknowledging her attention. Mara realized she could almost feel the history of the lighthouse, of past keepers, of storms weathered and lights maintained, all threading through her consciousness. She understood now that she was not simply discovering the room, she was awakening it, coexisting with it, breathing life into the memory it held. The whisper became clearer, almost tangible, as if the room itself had found her voice. "Keep the light, maintain the spiral, honor the silence." Mara's hands clenched the lantern slightly, feeling the weight of responsibility settle into her bones. Shadows stretched and folded across the stone walls, moving with a rhythm that mirrored her pulse. The feather rotated lazily, the journals hummed faintly, and the spirals glowed softly, a language of light and movement only she could interpret. A profound calm washed over her. She knew the room was alive, patient, and that it would continue to guide her, but only if she listened, observed, and responded with care. A distant rumble of thunder echoed through the lighthouse, shaking the floor slightly beneath her feet. Mara felt the energy of the storm mix with the latent power of the chamber, the air vibrating with an unseen force. Lantern flame flickered against the walls, casting reflections across the spirals and artifacts, and she understood that the tower and the storm were intertwined, part of the same living network of light, memory, and vigilance. She moved deliberately, touching a journal, then a crystal vial, feeling each object's resonance, letting the subtle vibrations settle into her consciousness. Every motion she made rippled through the room, teaching her, guiding her, shaping her understanding. The spirals on the walls pulsed brighter as she focused, aligning with her heartbeat. The chamber seemed to breathe with her, exhaling warmth and light into the surrounding darkness. Mara's eyes traced the patterns, noting the connections between objects, shadows, and the rotating lighthouse model. She felt a profound connection, a thread linking her to the keeper's past, to the tower above, and to the vast, restless sea beyond the cliffs. This was not simply discovery, it was communion, an awakening to the language of light and memory encoded into stone and time. A sudden movement caught her eye. The feather drifted faster, spinning as if drawn toward the pedestal. She stepped closer, placing her hand atop the spirals etched into its base. A gentle warmth surged through her fingers, and the glow expanded across the walls, illuminating every artifact, every symbol, every journal. Mara felt the full pulse of the room, the hidden room recognizing her, acknowledging her presence and understanding. She was no longer merely a visitor. She was an active participant, a keeper, a part of the living memory that would continue long after she left. Finally, Mara exhaled, letting the lantern light bathe the chamber in golden warmth. She understood fully now. The hidden room, the spirals, the artifacts, the light, and even the whispering silence were all interconnected, alive, and dependent on her awareness. Every breath, every touch strengthened that connection. The chamber had awakened with her awakening, and she had become its living memory, a guardian of its secrets and the light it contained. She smiled softly, feeling a profound completeness, ready to carry the light forward and honor the rhythm of the hidden room. Her fingers lingered over the spirals etched into the pedestal, feeling the subtle warmth pulse beneath her touch. The feather drifted lazily above the puddle, journals hummed faintly, and a soft shimmer of dust rose in the lantern light. Mara traced the edges of the journals in crystal vials, noticing faded etchings and hidden symbols. The pulse of energy from the spirals responded to her curiosity, expanding slowly, as if the room itself was breathing in her fascination. Each object, shadow, and flicker of light acknowledged her presence. A gentle breeze swept through the chamber, carrying the scent of salt, rain, and distant lightning, flickering shadows across the walls. Mara felt a sacred connection to the lighthouse and all who had kept its light alive. The spirals pulsed with recognition, the feather hovered, and the journals whispered faintly. The lantern's glow revealed faint carvings behind dust and shadow, echoes of past storms, and patterns formed by years of candlelight. Mara bent closer, realizing each imperfection was a story in the symphony of the lighthouse. The hidden room was alive, and she had become its heartbeat, its witness, and its keeper, ready for whatever mysteries awaited beyond its walls. She knew this awakening was not an end, but a beginning, a gateway into understanding the lighthouse, its secrets, and the enduring power of light, memory, and silence.